and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All mothers, sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Dagla dang war je pe dra no par je pe ge tarpa dang tam shaken pe bar du jo par je pa tam shaki so je pe manam kadam yam pe sim chen tam she de wa dang den Dug now dang drel nor du la na me pa yang dag par zog pe zhang ju rin po she to par ja. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Deshe du sang ma ge gi bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. Ma she bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. Du de ring ne song te ni ma sang ta sam gi bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities and the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas, and all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities and the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Drin sen sa wa dang gur par je pe pao den lama dam pa nam la kyab su chi o. Yedam kil gorgi la sok nam la kyab su chi o. Sangye chom den de nam la kyab su chi o. Pe cho nam la kyab su chi o. Pa pe ge dun nam la kyab su chi o. Pa wo ka jo cho kyong song me song yes she gi chang dang dem pa nam la kyab su chi o. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Shang Shu Ning Por Chi Ki Bar Sangye Namla Kapsuchi Chodang Shangshub Senpai Soklang Deshin Kapsuchi Jitar Nongi Deshegi Shangshu Tugni Kepadam Shangshu Sempe La Pala De Dagrim Shin Ne Pata De Shindro La Pendandu Shangshu Samni Kegishin De Shindu Ni La Pala Rimpa Shindu La Pagio. Three times in English. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until I attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and so on, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until I attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and so on, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until I attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and so on, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the sacred happiness devoid of suffering. And may they dwell in boundless equanimity that is free from attachment and aversion. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the sacred happiness devoid of suffering. And may they dwell in boundless equanimity that is free from attachment and aversion. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the sacred happiness devoid of suffering. And may they dwell in boundless equanimity that is free from attachment and aversion. Shall we continue through it? Do it all? In English, okay. We'll continue on. All in English. Unborn emptiness and the unceasing appearances of dependent arising are the way of illusory unity. Before me in the sky, amidst vast clouds of offerings, on a jeweled-lined throne and lotus sun and moon disk seats, the incomparable teacher, line of the Sakyas, his body the color of gold, adorned with major and minor marks. Clad in the three Dharma robes, he sits in Vajra posture, his right hand gracefully poised in the earth-touching mudra, and his left hand in the gesture of meditation, holding an alms bowl full of nectar. Like a mountain of gold, magnificent, and he shines in splendor, spreading beams of wisdom light across the whole expanse of space. The 8 closed suns, 16 elders, and the like, a vast ocean-like retinue of noble beings encircles him all around. Simply think of him, and he grants the glory of the highest bliss, liberation from samsara and nirvana, the two extremes. He is the great being. With your great compassion, you embraced this turbulent and degenerate world and made 500 mighty aspirations. You are as exalted as the white lotus. Whoever hears your name shall never return to samsara. Most compassionate teacher, to you I pay homage. All my own and others' virtues of body, speech, and mind, together with all our possessions, visualized like Samantabhadra's offering clouds, I offer to you. all the harmful actions and transgressions I have committed throughout beginningless time. Each and every one I now confess with intense and heartfelt regret. And all virtuous actions of the noble ones and ordinary beings, accumulated throughout the past, present, and future, I rejoice. Turn the wheel of the profound and vast Dharma teachings. Ceaselessly in every direction I pray. Your wisdom body is like space and remains changeless throughout past, present, and future. Yet in the perception of those to be guided, you go through the display of birth and death. Even so, mind and body continue always to appear. All the virtues I have accumulated in the past, I'm accumulating now and will accumulate in the future for the sake of benefiting all beings who are as infinite as space. May you, the sovereign of Dharma, be forever pleased. And may all attain the state of the victorious one, the Lord of Dharma. Living beings like us, adrift in this degenerate age, have no guidance and protection. Because of your kindness, caring for us with surpassing compassion, every manifestation in this world now of the three jewels is your enlightened activity. Our only refuge, incomparable, supreme. We pray with total confidence and faith. Do not neglect the great promises you made in times gone by, but hold us until we attain enlightenment with your compassion. Supreme Teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, complete and perfect Buddha, glorious Conqueror, Shakyamuni Buddha, to you I pay homage, to you I make offerings, in you I take refuge. Supreme Teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, complete and perfect Buddha, glorious Conqueror, Shakyamuni Buddha, to you I pay homage, to you I make offerings, in you I take refuge. Supreme Teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, complete and perfect Buddha, glorious Conqueror, Shakyamuni Buddha, to you I pay homage, to you I make offerings, in you I take refuge. Teata Om Muni Muni Maha Muni E Soha. 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 Om Muni Muni Maha Muni E Soha. Muni Muni Maha Muni E Soha. Muni Muni Maha Muni E Soha. Om Muni Muni Maha Muni E Soha. 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni E Zoha, Muni Muni Ma Muni E Zoha, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni E Zoha, Muni Muni Ma Muni E Zoha, Om 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 Muni Muni Maha Muni E Zoha. From the Buddha's body there emanates a great radiance of multicolored rays of wisdom light, dispelling our own and others' obscurations, and causing all the genuine qualities of the Mahayana path to arise within us, so that we get a perfection from which we will never return again to samsara.
Yeah, also my turn. Good evening. And I'm going to talk about Lhabab Duchen. It's in Tibetan, which means that one of very special Buddha's activities performed in this day. And also related here, then I'm going to talk about a biography of the Buddha, a little bit. And if we have time, then I would like to introduce what we chant, the sadhana Shakyamuni. Then my ear is too maybe small. Is it?
Not too tight.
I think so. Something. Okay, now I think now it's fine. Yeah, it's fine now. Okay. In the general time, there are two ways we have to describe, and a relative way of describing the time and absolute point of view of time. That from Dharma teachings saying that relative point of view of time we have past, present, and futures. In that context, then Buddha had been in the past. I'm talking about Shakyamuni Buddha, 2,561 years ago. This is common. Some in the teachings, in the text saying that Buddha had been almost 2,800 some years, but common 2,561 is common. So the great being, Shakyamuni Buddha, that's our teacher. If we learn biography of Buddha, then we have better understand as Buddhists, and then what we have to strengthen, and we can learn a lot from it, the Buddha's biography. So, but Buddha, in the relatively speaking, he passed away, but his teaching still present. And then absolute point of view, there's no time. Sometimes we called fourth time. It's not past, present, futures. They use the terms fourth time or timeless time. Then there is no time. We are not talking about this here, but we are going to talking about the relative. The time itself is very hard to describe. It's spatial or not. But there's some great being like Shakyamuni Buddha had been in this world. They performed a lot of major activities. As that day, the practitioners and Buddha's aspirations made a lot of aspirations and practitioners' motivations put it together, then it's become a very special day. At that time, if we do meritorious activities, then we accumulated a lot of merit in quick time. And on the other hand, if we do negative activities, then also it makes more negative deeds. If you do positive, then we can make a lot accumulated merit, very short period of time, sometimes saying that 100,000 times. Because the time that day, Buddha made a lot of aspirations, blessed, and as practitioners, we are cultivating or motivation to put it together, then it works. Everything is interdependent. There is no such phenomena, something truly existent. It's interdependence. Auspicious and interdependence. So it's just general how it works in this phenomena. And then, so now we as Buddhists, it's millions people following the great master Shakyamuni Buddha. We have to know his life. And the Buddha Shakyamuni, so one way we can say a founder of Buddhism in this time. But in the just general, he is the fourth Buddha, enlightened beings. In this fortunate, we call it fortunate eon, in this eon, at this time, so there are 1,000 Buddhas that's going to be in this world and teaching. This our Shakyamuni Buddha is fourth one, right? Then this Buddha, was born in Lumbini, which is right now is in Nepal. It's some sort of border of India and Nepal, and was Princess Siddhartha. His father, so we call it Setang Se in Tibetan, Sadhudara, something like that, in Sanskrit. Yeah, Sadhudara. And his mother is Queen Mahamaya, Jumalhanji in Tibetan. And then his father was king at that time. And his father has two brothers, younger brothers. And so that's the characters of the Buddha's family. Of course, Buddha is not, God, but he was reincarnation of the God, one particular God. God means that we have 6 realms, right? God realms, jealous God realms, human realms, and so forth. His previous life was in the one of God realms. As there was, we called it Lhabab in Tibetan. I don't know, it's Sanskrit as a name, and it's one of bodhisattvas. And then he reincarnated to the world, and he looked. In this point, he chose into this world, and also he chose his mother, the Queen Maya, his father, and Klein, the family is the Shakya family, and so forth. Then he was born in Lumbini. So when he was born, there were the sage called the sage Ase, and he has kind of what are called the future sign. They're saying that, that's Buddha appears in this world. Or he's saying that, that person, the Siddhartha, if he take spiritual path, then he will be enlightened beings. If he take the warrior, the king rules, then he will be Chakravartin, the very powerful king. But also he predicted the Siddhartha is going to take the spiritual renunciations to become monk. So then Siddhartha has a cousin, and the cousin, his name is Devadat. He is the main players in Lord Suttas, the tower maker. So he's the tower maker. He's Buddha's cousin, one of Buddha's father's son, father's brother's son. He's a little bit older than Siddhartha. Before Buddha, Devadatta, he's the only one child everybody treated well. That's very nice for him. When Siddhartha born, he's he was jealous with Siddhartha. He's become more grumpy and makes lots of trouble. So everybody doesn't like him. Everybody likes Siddhartha. That makes trouble for him. So then Siddhartha learned a lot, the reading, writing, the archery, and the trainings at that time. And they're Devadatta too, together. They learn together. Siddhartha is very compassionate, naturally compassionate person. He doesn't want to hurt anyone. Even Devadatta, his cousin, is a mean spirit, want to hurt or injuring him, even he doesn't want to hurt him. It's naturally just compassionate person. As one time, Devadatta killed the sheep, the swan, and the Siddhartha saved. As they have big troubles, the kids, then of course their families involved, and they're in the court, and then there are two sides, Devadatta and the Siddhartha. They're just kids fighting, and also it makes families troubles, and the kingdom makes problems. Then that's why I'm telling, he is very compassionate and also very wise. Then Siddhartha is saying that if you shoot, it doesn't mean that bird belongs to you. He's want to save the bird. Then they just said, let the bird itself, swans choose who's the owner of the bird. Swan is go to of course, Siddhartha, right? Very warm and compassionate person. And so the last trainings had been through this. Then his father worrying Siddhartha. Siddhartha, when he shows compassionate action, is threatening for father. Father's wish, his desire, Siddhartha become the king, ruler and the fighter, warrior. When Siddhartha shows a compassionate action, then the father is angry. And his father's afraid because Siddhartha's taken renunciation path to become ordination. So that means that it comes from sickness, old aging, and very poor, and some has big troubles. Fathers made some sort of what called a sanctuary area, put everything, not a palace, also some sort of prisoners camp. When there's some have a disease, lepers example, as other disease and ugly and old, put it in some area. He doesn't want to show any big problems. And so, then, as there, then Siddhartha, he is a very intelligent person. He trained, well trained, and when Devadatta, Buddha's cousin, they always contest. The Buddha win everything. And then, this point, Siddhartha has crown prince, crown prince, and Devadatta more jealous. He's a greedy, angry person, very strong. Of course, he's a cousin of Buddha. He looks like a Buddha too. Looks like a Buddha and greedy. Then Buddha's mother passed away very early, Queen Maya, and his stepmother, aunt, Chukadamu in Tibetan, I think it's Sanskrit, Prajapati, she taking care of Siddhartha. She promised her sister she's going to take care of her nephew. She did a very good job. And then later, Siddhartha married Yashodhara, Samso, I think in Tibetan, in Sanskrit, Yashodhara. He married her. He was age 16. Siddhartha was age 16. And at that point, the father thought now he's okay. He's not going to take renunciation's path. The Siddhartha also have a son. He has a wife, beautiful. It's nice. They have very nice family. And also the Devadatta have troubles with Yashodhara, and he doesn't like him, and there are lots of troubles. Always Devadatta makes troubles. And so then, and there have lots of wars going on at that time. Siddhartha believed that war never ends at violence, other war. He believed that dialogue and peace, the compassion and the peace is going to end the war. He wanted to make friends, other neighbors, but everybody against him. And Siddhartha doesn't believe that sacrificed animals and their customs, he had to kill some animals, the ritual ceremony, but he couldn't do it. He thinks it's not right action. That also makes trouble. The Siddhartha believed that Brahmins, the castes, caste systems in India, it makes problems. And Siddhartha's family, royal families, offering to the Brahmins a lot jewels and things, and they're poor people. They don't get it. Siddhartha he doesn't want to give it to the Brahmins things. He wants to give those things to the poor people. That also makes troubles. Then for all families hide the Siddhartha's mother passed away. They didn't tell him, and the other, large troubles going on. Everybody's just hiding these. And then one day he walked on the street. There some way he got into this prisoner camp, some sort of. Because they have lots of people, poor people. There's some doesn't have eyes, nose, and legs. Everybody was angry, Siddhartha, because his father made this. So those are really shocked for him. He thought, even he stay in the palace, his life is fine, but there's lots of things going on. He wants the answer, solution, how it's going to end of the suffering. There's birth is troubles, aging is problem, sickness is problem, death is problem. Everybody go through this. And Siddhartha seems he doesn't have this knowledge. His friend, Chano, I think in Dumba in Tibetan, he has more knowledge than Siddhartha. Oh, this is a problem, this is a problem, you know. He learned from this. Then he was crying. He wants to find answer, how we can end of these troubles. There is no answer. Sacrifice animal is not answer of the end of the suffering. Offering to the Brahmins lots of goals and everything, that's not answer for him. And so then, of course, he's talked to the Yasudhara, his wife, and she also some sort of agrees Siddhartha. She has a vision. Siddhartha has some sort of light, you know, so forth. So then he left. Decided he want to find truth, answer. And he received a lot of instructions, teachings. Of course, at that time, as a Hindu, there is no Buddhist. He's the first, the founder of Buddhist, right? There is no Buddhist. And so he received a lot of teachings and then he meditated. And at that time, there was very popular ascetic practice, extremist path. Not much eating, not much drinking. If you just put it very hard in their life, as then some way dissolving their karma. And so Siddhartha achieved certain level of the meditation experience, the highest you can achieve in this world, samsara. You have that very subtle, usually we call it shamatha, right? Very subtle, peaceful rest. There's no, that state is really no suffering. But that's just not still in the samsara. You are not yet at the nirvana, called nirvana enlightenment. And Siddhartha know that it's not the complete. And even all his teachers doesn't have that point to the transcend of the samsara. They achieve the highest realization in this samsara, but they're not transcend of the samsara. And then he was meditating Niranjana River. If you go to the Bodh Gaya, it's very close. The where Buddha was enlightened place. It's very close there, a small river. As there were Buddha and other path, his friends, they meditate together. They agree they don't drink and eat. A little bit of drink, of course. They agree to just take vows. Not much eating, not much, drinking. Just static practice. When Siddhartha decided, it's their local girl, she offered some food, he decided to eat. Oh, everybody shocked. Oh, now Siddhartha, it's violated for us. Now you are not our friend. But they left. The Siddhartha continuing and meditated. He left a little bit. Then sit under the Bodhi trees, continue meditating. And then some point he be called subdued or karma kleshas. There are particular 4 maras. Mara of klesha, mara of the skandhas. Skandhas, this home and so forth, it's scandalous. It's a lot of trouble, makes problems. The Mara of the death, Lord of Death, the Mara of the Devas, the 4 Maras. He subdued these. He doesn't have any, sometimes we call it 2 obscurations. Obscuration of kleshas, cognitive obscuration and klesha obscurations. Complete abandoned. Then one point his innate nature is complete, manifest. There's no any obscurations. Complete manifest. At that point, that we call it enlightenment, awake one, Buddha. Buddha is the enlightenment, right? Awakened one is the terms. At that time, they're Mangada, the Bodh Gaya area, using this terms. Buddha. So then he thought, he was saying that he found nectar like the Dharma. It's a profound simplicity, unmade, uncreated, and it's a nectar like a wisdom, Dharma. But if he teach this, nobody understands. So he said that better just sit silently, meditate. He said 49 days. That's also in the teachings why he did this. Because if he just give it a Dharma freely, nobody wants it. If it's the kind of value of the Dharma, someone have to ask him these precious teachings. So then, there Inda and the king, and this is all stories, you know, the king of the god runs king, Brahma and Inda, they ask him, please turn in the well of Dharma, you was enlightenment for the sentient beings. They offer that you have here, that the one of them, I think Brahmins offer this the 1,000 spoke well of the Dharma, and the others offer the conch, left-hand conch. And then some say that they're both turned to the deer, or some said listeners, deers came in there. The later is turned to the symbol of the turn into well of Dharma. If you see these, you know, 2 deers, and their center there, the Dharma wheel. It's you can see it's lots in the temples and the tags everywhere. So symbolic of deers, male, female. Then Buddha, he agreed, he's going to teach. He said, yes, he's going to teach. What do you know? That's basically he's looking the answer. And then Buddha has omniscient. He looked, where is the disciples? The best disciple was his teachers. He has 2 main teachers that he received lots of meditation instructions. They have the highest, the samadhis. But his teacher passed away. The second choice is that his friends, they meditate together 6 years almost, but they have also very high some sort of realizations. And then Siddhartha left from At this point, we don't call it Siddhartha, now called Buddha. Sometimes we say Shakyamuni. Shakya is his family's name. And then he left from Bodh Gaya. If you go there, Bodh Gaya, maybe next time, the Bodhi tree is set under the Bodhi tree. Bodhi tree is still there. And behind the Bodhi tree, there one small statue. Statue look at in front, like meditation posture. Great Tibetan scholar Kende Chimpa is saying that that is a symbolic statue of after the Buddha was enlightened, as said, 49 days. Then he walked. Is there few footprint of the rocks there? You can see. And in the Bodh Gaya. And then he left from the Bodh Gaya to the Saranath. And his friends saw him. Of course, Siddhartha is coming. But they're saying that, Siddhartha is coming, we have to ignore him. Nobody respect him and nobody talk to him. But Siddhartha is closer and closer. Everybody stand up, respect him, prostrate some sort of. What was happened to Siddhartha? Then the Buddha saying that he was enlightened. Of course, they recognized then. And a lot, those is, it's not a Buddhist, of course. It's a Hindu practitioner, but it has lots of spiritual journey. Later, they all turn to his disciples. Lots of Buddha's disciples become just Buddha's, Buddha's disciples. And former their Hindu practitioners. When they see Siddhartha has really high realizations, then they turn to his disciples. And he taught first Four Noble Truths. And there are 5 only human disciples. A lot in the teaching said that God first training the world of Dharma. And some just immediately achieved very high realizations, become arhat. That their realizations we call Dharma realization. And then after that, Buddha taught many years, 45 years. Second return in the well of Dharma is in virtual Peak Mountain, very close to Bodh Gaya, the site of Nalanda University. And then the third is we call Yangbachen, turn in the well of Dharma. Over 45 years. And lots, at that time, the kings, queens, ministers become his disciples at that area. Siddhartha was princes, right? Prince. So he has lots of friends. He knows this all areas. But then later, those all his disciples. And lots of great debater, Tirthikas, as a Buddha's defeat, as them. Of course, nobody's defeat Buddha's realization is very, very high, and everybody, accept his answer, everything. And so then Buddha was, this now this Lhabab teaching. The Buddha descend from the heaven. And Buddha's mother was born in Gadrams, one of the Gadrams. Buddha had to be there. When Buddha was 41 years old at that time. Then he went heaven. And it's called the God Ram. There were his mother was born, and the Buddha was there 3 months before the Yane. And before that, he was large teachings, and in the India area. Ajatasattu is very angry person. Hated, angry. He killed his father. But he met Buddha's teachings. He subdued. He's the best disciple of the Buddha. Angulamala, the horrible person. He met the bad teacher. The teacher jealous with him. Teacher told, showed the wrong path, saying that if you killed, I think 100 people, then I will give you some profound instructions. He believed it, how he was ignorant, very thick, ignorant and stupid, very strong person. He killed, saying that 99 people. Then he met Buddha. He wanted to kill the Buddha. Of course, he can't kill the Buddha. Then later he turned to the Buddha's disciple, become monk. So Ajatasattu, Machida in Tibetan, and other great kings really miss Buddha because 3 months he wasn't there. He asked the Mongala, some Buddha's disciples, where's Buddha? They saying that Buddha was in the Garam. He's teaching there. And then those Ajatasattu and other kings are saying that, oh, we missed Buddha, we want to he come back. So some Buddha's disciple has magic, right, to travel to there and go back and forth. So they send the message to Buddha. The Buddha agreed he's going to come back, and that's ninth month of the 22nd, the lunar calendar. We always say that this is a special. Buddhas came from the sky realm to the earth. And also some people, the Buddha went there to teaching for the repairing mother's kindness. And then some people are saying that this is Mother's Day. And a lot in the Tibetan traditions, Buddhist traditions, do start in prayers, hundreds, thousands of people together in the prayer and the practice at this day. And also they do like a 3-year retreat. They start today and then 3-year retreat. There are lots of things occurring this day. There's some people, they do paint stupa or temple outside and make a maze. A lot just depends meritorious activities to do that special day. And the story there Buddha taught in the God realm. God in the teaching said that God's life is much longer than us. As they have some magical birth. It's not a birth, it's like us. They have magical birth. So that means they don't have corporeal body like our body. They have light and live long. And when Buddha was there, God, of course, is not permanent. It's thinking beings and samsara, aging and death. They have death. The sign, the later their smell from the body, and losing their light, the body. They don't like them, some sort of stuff. Said some sort of a little bit boring. A lot of sign of that death occur. And God has supernatural, to see the future. They call it supernatural, right? Supernatural power or something like that. Yeah, supernatural. Need it, I think, to drink water. And so the one of God, why I'm saying this, he taught lots of teachings. It's a beautiful story. And then this one God has supernatural power. He sees he's going to die, and he's going to take a rebirth in a human realm, the pig. And someone's going to kill him. He's going to eat dirty things. He doesn't want that. He was upset, worrying. Then some saying that, oh, here's Buddha now. We can ask him. Then that person went to the Buddha, asking him. The Buddha saying that, he has method. Have to take refuge in the Buddha and Dharma and Sangha. That's where you enjoy, take a rebirth in lower realms and animal. He took refuge, then later that the God dead, take a rebirth in, of course, it is India, right? The child, after the birth, he's reciting, take a refuge in the Buddha, in the Dharma, in the Sangha. Very intelligent the kid. And when he was 8 years old, he saw the Buddha. Buddha has lots of medical, he saw the kids. Kids very close come to Buddha, and he really wants the Buddha come to in his home. He invited Buddha to, Buddha didn't say anything. He said, he didn't say he's coming or not. So some point in the suttas, if you're asking the Buddha, he didn't say anything, that means he agreed. If you said, are you coming tomorrow? If he didn't say anything, that means he is going to. And so Chad and his families prepared for the Buddha. The Buddha came and offer a lot food and clothing and so forth. So that means that to take refuge in the Buddha and Dharma and Sangha, to save, to close the door of the lower realms, rebirth in animal realms. That's one of this story out there. What else? Yes. Then the Buddha has lots of disciples. And later, lots of disciples. It's just, he's simple. He usually not fancy. He doesn't want, power. Just beginning, his motivation is not wealth and power and some, material, worldly, possessed things. Does he avoid? That his life is very simple. Bamboo, small house. And also he's not stay one place. Just go one to the other. So he travels a lot. And then resting and he taught as many teachings. It's not always he's teaching it. His disciples stand up asking him, then he's giving some teachings, and then he go to the families, the holding begging bowl, they get the food and bring back, and sometimes just after they eat, wash the feet and the clothing, then just have them meditate. Very simple life. So then, not end of his life. His kingdom, his father and his wife and his stepmother, some sort of mother, they're always waiting Siddhartha come back. Then they heard that Siddhartha was enlightened, become a monk. That point, Yashodhara, his wife, he wants to take spiritual path too. And his father was very, very upset. And my father, the son, is destroying the family. He was angry. He sent messengers. Buddha have to bring back his palace. And when he sent messengers to the Buddha, when they see him, then they want to stay there. They want to come back. The best of his minister, called Charka in Tibetan, later he was a troublemaker. He's a very smart person. He saying that he wants to become a monk, but before that you must come back in the palace. The Buddha accepted that, agree. So, and then Buddha came in his home. His father has some sort of arrogant. And so, there are lots of miracles. So the Buddha came, his home, then he not stayed a lot there. Then he left. He just took a small, simple life. And so his son, Rahula, and so he came, visit to him, he's become monk too. Now, Buddha's cousin, which is that Buddha's father, has two brothers, right? One's Devadatta, one of his cousins, Devadatta, other there are three. And that's why I'm telling what was happened at their kingdom. And Devadatta, he's always jealous, still is not letting go. But other Buddha's cousins, they also become monk. The three cousins, one is the Ananda. And then this is a little bit too long. Then Buddha's wife, she wants to take spiritual journey, renunciation. Buddha first, he didn't accept that. Then his mother, Buddha's father passed away, and he wants to take renunciation, which means a spiritual journey. Then Buddha accepted. Then later Yashodhara, Buddha's wife, she became a nun. And Buddha's aunt, stepmother, she became a nun. They all very strong Dharma practitioners become arhats, which means have high realizations. And then Devadatta, he hated Buddha. He wanted to destroy it. His legacy. Now Buddha was very popular. He's influenced everyone. He wanted to get the throne and king. He didn't get it. Once Buddha's cousin, he was monk, but later he took back monk robes. Buddha, he advised him, he's become the king of the country. Buddha saying that he has all characters. He trained, and the younger cousin has become the king. And Devadatta still hated then. He wanted to kill Buddha, but of course he can't. But later what's happened, he wanted to become bhikkhu. Buddha accepted. He pretended some sort of, his motivation is not renunciation. His motivation is want to hurt Buddha's legacy. He want to separate his sangha. He want to make Buddha's bad. He tried in many ways, all failed. Everything failed. But then later, he was almost dying. Then he took refuge in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. He regret. It was a regret. And he also just not bad, The end of his life is not that bad. Devadatta. So then Buddha's life is long. He taught the second turn in the web of Dharma, which is the Hat Sutta and others, Vajjanaparamita Suttas, a lot of teachings. It's main emphasizing emptiness, fundamental nature of reality. Describing. Then he third trend in the well of Dharma. He's talking about a lot of the qualities of the Buddha, the Buddha nature of one's mind, this wisdom part of his mind, and so forth. And the Tantra, Tibetan Buddhism, Tantra is the category of the third trend in the well of Dharma. Allah's the pure visions, and so forth. It's a very profound, lots of teachings. He's not extraordinary person now. Is this complete enlightened being without any afflicted emotions and obscurations. So that means that his wisdom sees future, the trillions years. He sees the past, and there is no any boundary. And so a lot of teachings comes from that kind of, complete wisdom. As what we have to learn is that sometimes we are some profound teachings not immediately match our thoughts and perceptions, because those teachings comes from very deep realizations. Then, when he was 80, sometimes we say 81, and then he passed away. His disciples cremated his body, and relics carrying different places, the kingdoms, built the stupa. We have 8 types of stupas. And he saying that in the future, remember the Buddha to go to and his birthplace and enlighten the place, turn the well of Dharma, those places, as he some sort of recommended to organize, so forth. Yeah, that's it's a brief. It's not as Buddha's biography. And some in the common we say 12 Buddha's major activities. But yeah, that's just a brief piece for life. And now we have lots of teachings. We believe that he spoke 2 languages. In the some teachings saying that Buddha, he gave the lectures and the teachings. He has extraordinary abilities that every disciples, different types of beings, listening in own their language. Animals is hearing in the animals' language. God hears their language. The humans, we can hear our language, human language. The different types of the beings receiving their own language for the teachings. And but in the general, he speaks 2 languages, Pali and Sanskrit. The Pali tradition is the Theravada schools of the Buddhism, at Sri Lanka, Burma, Thailand. Those traditions it comes from Pali tradition. And then he spoke the Sanskrit language. There's the Mahayana Buddhism. Vajrayana Buddhism is category of the Mahayana Buddhism. Then Chinese Buddhism comes from that. And then Japanese, Korean, that comes from China. And the Tibetan Buddhism is also related to the Sanskrit tradition. And in Nepal, I think there's Sanskrit too. Buddha Dharmas went to many places, different languages, translated into the different languages. Right now in Tibetan Buddhism we have Kanjur and Tenjur. Kanjur is Buddha's teachings, and Jur is translated to mainly Sanskrit into Tibetan, over 100 volumes. Started the 7th century. Dharma king called Songtsen Gampo. At that time, the first translator, Thomas Sambodasam, this is just a story, how they translated from 7th century to many centuries. That now we have over 100 volumes, large collection of his teachings, wisdom. And that is the Dharma scriptures. And then we have lots of commentaries from India. A great Indian pandit wrote this beautiful commentary. The sutras, Buddha's teachings, lots of stories. There's some teachings is just very clear. Many teachings have lots of stories. It's like a transcript. Some, not all. Many, his teaching like a transcript. How many people are there? Who is main disciple? Where Buddha's located? What he was doing? And who was his main disciples asking? If the disciples stand up or sit, or do they prostrated? What kind of question to answer? Then Buddha, what he answered, or expressions, his body posture, was he smiled, or was he, what he did? This all, just to put it together. That's what's happened after the Buddha's passed away. And some say that at that time, it seems to me they have writing skills. But in the history, Dharma history, mainly saying that there is no writing history at that time, writing skills, but just only oral lineage. But his disciple has abilities to remember exactly quoted, like it recorded. And after the Buddha's parinirvana passed away, the next year, all his main disciples gathered and recited what they heard. You can see in the last suttas at the beginning, that's I heard once, and that's, oh, I heard this, and then every major disciple says, oh, that's right. They sealed, or that's his authentic ones. Yeah, later. The first, I think, Dharma council meetings, there is no writing. Second or third ones, then just write down all. Whole, complete, I think 200 years takes. A few generations. But this arhats, the great beings, has abilities to remember. They have 3 council meetings. Great bodhisattvas, great arhats, his disciples all together, major disciples, then write down all. The sum and the teachings is not humans, non-human. He has lots of non-humans, like Minjushi, Avalokiteshvara. Those is non-human. They're the later they're taught, and many teachings comes from those, the Mahayana teachings, those things. And yeah, that's I think about Buddha's short biography, and he is really great, compassionate being. So yeah, if you have any questions, then I'm happy to answer. Okay. That's right. Different Buddha families, that's related to the third. That was related to the third family, the well of Dharma, like a Vajrayana. Disciples? Yeah, they're some, yeah, of course, they're the main disciples, but also human too. The Vajrayana teachings, he not publicly give the last Vajrayana teachings. In the history saying that it's a very secret, not public. He prophesies in the future it's going to be in the public. And there's someone like he prophesied, Pema Sambhava example. He's going to teach Vajrayana, so forth. But one of his disciple example, Vimalakirti Sutta, it's amazing. And he is a great Mahasiddha, even in the suttas. If you look, it's not related to tantras, but in the sutta, it's their great being. It's very interesting. Brahmalakirti Sutta, he appears as a lay practitioner. He is lay practitioner, rich business person, and also has lots of powers. It's like a great Mahasiddha, even though nobody has his abilities. Or Brahmalakirti, Tami Chakpa, Tamameva Chakpa in Tibetan, Brahmalakirti, Sanskrit. Yeah, there are few versions, translations into English. One, I think Chinese version to the English. There are other Tibetan version to English. Robert Thurman, he translated. Maybe other, I don't know. Yeah, it's a very beautiful text. If you read this, then we have some better ideas of those Vajradharas in the Vajrayana teachings. And also Brahmalakirti is part of the Vajrayana teachings. There he is the order of the human, order of the Tantra teachings. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
That woman who's actually over there, or he split his body.
Oh, I think at this point he actually there. He was there, and seems he was there. Now we are talking about when he was in the Bodh Gaya, then Saranath, and the Virtue Peak Mountain, and he travels a lot these areas. He's not stay one place, even almost every day. When his disciples with him, he's traveling. Then the sponsors give the offering, food. He eats food, then some way he's teaching it. Yeah, he's actually was there. But sometimes, we have a little bit cautions because Virtue Peak Mountain, if you go there, it's very small, narrow places, and in the teachings is thousands, right? Saying that, I think the pure version is a different way of the world. Is not just what we're seeing exactly. We have lots our afflict emotions, karma and kleshas, and other great bodhisattvas that realize has a little bit different ways of seeing. Yeah, right. Lots of bodhisattvas, gods, nagas, and.
That's why there's another story that they don't believe.
That's right.
That's why my question is, if he actually goes there, which means that the story should be written. That's why the Theravada needs both teaching for the Buddha that they don't believe. That's why my question is, the Buddha actually split his body and teach for non-human beings.
Oh, That is of some we have, and when Buddha was enlightened, then his wisdom went to the we called Sambhogakaya realms, as a turn in the well of Dharma there. Some we have teachings, but and when we are talking about the like Hat Sutta, then he was there. The Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, their dialogue was talking each other, but Buddha was meditating there. And through the blessing of the Buddha, Shariputra has ability to caution arising. Through the blessing of the Buddha, Avalokiteshvara has ability to answer the profound teachings. That's why even it's not directly words of the Buddha, Hat Sutta, mainly it's all Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara. But through the blessing of the Buddha, that means it's considered of the Buddha's teaching. And the large Hinayanas, we call it Hinayana, Theravadan schools, they're criticizing a little bit Mahayana. It's not authentic Buddhist teachings. But Mahayana teachings not always human disciples, like Avalokiteshvara you mentioned, the Manjushri and others. And also it's a Sanskrit. It's not Pali. And the 9th chapter of Shantideva's Way of Bodhisattva's Conduct is their last debate between Mahayana and Hinayana. Hinayana criticizing those emptiness of teachings. It's not it's a Buddhist teaching because it doesn't make sense for them. It's form is exist. Buddha himself saying that form is exist. So now here saying the form is not exist. It's a contradict. So that means this is not authentic. It's just made up. This Nagarjuna and Vasubandhu, those teachers, it's made up. And Mahayana saying that no, it's authentic, but it's very profound. It's not regular audience perceiving these teachings. And some teachings saying that when Buddha was teaching emptiness, there are some his disciples was heartache and so forth. But it's Buddha has extraordinary abilities. He has lots of disciples. It's not all disciples human. If you look at Colophon said, humans, Nagas, gods, Asuras, Indras, so forth, they all rejoice of his teachings. And another is that when Buddha's teaching, the Mahayana teachings, there are other realms, aliens, we call aliens, right? The visitors come to, he's receiving teachings. It's some, like a Brahmalakita Sutta, when Buddha was teaching, there the stars shining, lining. Later there one the Bodhisattva, other realms Bodhisattva, came and receiving his teachings, and the Shariputra, of course, they have together, and this we called some sort of names of Brahman, other bodhisattvas, and he sees everything is pure. There is no bumpy, everything is pure. Buddha's around this is pure. Shariputra was saying that no, that's not true. It's not pure. It's a bumpy. There are lots, dust, border, and everything. It's not this. They have debate. Shariputra is not just ordinary. It's an Arya. Have lots of realizations, but still they see bumpy and troubles. They have debate. Then, of course, one sees it's pure, everything is perfect, and the other has a different view. They ask the Buddha, which is right, which is wrong. The Brahman and great bodhisattvas comes from other worlds, has different opinions of the Buddha's realm. So they ask the Buddha, Shariputra and both. Then Buddha said that, Shariputra, what you don't see this pure world. It's your aspirations. My world is always pure. The Brahman's, what he sees is right. Buddha's blessed to the Shariputra, then he sees same as the other bodhisattvas. That's all in the teachings. A lot of things, it's related to the one's own mind and eyes, faculties, and so forth, karma and kleshas. This is, I can say, a few things about here. When you have happy and everything's doing well, then your world is alive and different than when you have angry, frustrated, and everything is just falling apart. At that time, you can feel your world is different. Similar, someone who's purified karma and kleshas, completely world is different. Those all enemies turn to the disciple of the Buddha. Other kingdoms, lots of kingdoms turn to the disciple of the Buddha. Non-violence. Later they all turn to the disciple of the Buddha. That's happened. All his families. And end of this whole story is pretty good. Other kingdoms, like example, Ajatasattu Machida, he is a very strong personality, angry. He killed his father. that kind of the person. He was unhappy person. Then he just lost his mind. His father was disciple of the Buddha. He attacked his father, put it in the prison. Father saying that I don't want to defeat his son because he is a disciple of the Buddha. He believes non-violence. He doesn't want to attack his son because he gave up his whole kingdom. Then, and he's a girlfriend and also a disciple of the Buddha. He doesn't want to other, non-violence. So later, his life is some sort of miserable. He has a lot of power, of course. He's the warrior, killed. And he's also influenced other Brahmins too. But then he was unhappy, then he lost his mind. Then Buddha's disciples appears in his door, knocked in the door, and then he looked. That's peace. And he has questions, there's something. He sent some gift to the Buddha. The Buddha, of course, he's calmly with their disciples and so forth. He came, and the Buddha taught mindfulness, meditation to Ajatasattu. Ajatasattu later returned to the disciple of the Buddha. And then other kingdoms, this all just disciple of the Buddha. And they're peace. Some wars happened, but mainly it's peace. The hardest part is his cousin. His cousin is not easy. Really, he made a lot of troubles within Sangha. He's saying that, we have to do something, In the Sangha members, he separated two groups. He made his rules, and he proud of that, and his mother was very, very upset what he's done. But of course, then Shariputra and Mongaputta, they're very skillful. They just talked to them and then put it together. Not big things happened a long period of time, but short period of time, he made lots of troubles. Yeah, please. Angulimala, he made a bad teacher, spiritual teacher. Some point, I don't remember exactly, jealous with him. Teacher thought if he killed a lot of people, maybe someone has killed him. His teacher doesn't want he alive some point. So he believed it, what his teacher is saying. He's following that wrong directions. Killed a lot of people. Angula mala is this, right? Angula is finger. He killed the one person, then cut the finger, put it in made mala. His goal is 100 people. The teaching said that he killed 99 people. Last he made a Buddha. He wanted to kill the Buddha. Of course, he couldn't kill the Buddha. Then Buddha teach to him. Later, he's a disciple of the Buddha. Everybody, when see him, the local people beat him. Of course, he's the model. Then so now he's a bhikkhu. And Ajatasattu is the king in this area. He also the disciple of the Buddha. Then it's okay now. He's fine. Later he's arhat. He has power to help others. Yeah, those is Buddha's extraordinary abilities. Someone who's a stupid and ignorant person like Angulimala turned to the arhat. Someone who has very angry person like Ajatasattu killed his father. There's no compassion any. It turned to the great Dharma practitioners. And there are other Gurchon. Later he's become arhat. He's a stupid person. He couldn't remember any Om Ahum. He forget it. There's one saying Om, he forget Ah. But skill. Later he's become Arhat too. So that's saying that power of the Buddha and Dharmas, even this ignorance, angry, hated person is just become Arhat, an enlightened being. For us, of course, easy. We can say Om Ahum, if any directions, easy. Yeah, please.
So let me see if I understand. So during the time of the Buddha, while he was teaching, and then after he passed,
Okay.
for what, several generations, many generations, in that region, in northern India there, it was very peaceful and
I think, yeah, that's right.
wars and so on like that.
Not too horrible. It's much, much better.
Right. And so did that last for a couple hundred years, or my understanding, well, let me jump ahead. My
Okay.
understanding is that the Buddhism was overcome, that by around 500 years after the Buddha passed, that the Buddhism was gone in northern India. And that what actually happened,
Buddha Dharma?
the Buddha Dharma
Oh, I don't.
have been lost in northern India. It had gone to China, it had gone down to Southeast Asia, it had gone up into Turkestan and all the Islamic nations and so on. But in northern India it was gone, and the reason why it was gone was because of the Brahmins, because of the native Indians were there, seduced the people back into becoming materialistic.
Oh, okay.
And getting involved with business and getting involved with making money and getting involved with material things and so on.
Oh, okay.
Is that
I don't think so. Think about it like this way. Few hundred years, you said 400 years or 500 years?
That was my understanding.
The 7th century, 11th century, 8th century, 9th century, in Nalanda University is very strong.
But that was,
That was 1,000 years.
well, that was 1,000 years, yeah.
Yeah, still, this is, we are talking about the Nalanda area, Bodh Gaya and these all areas, Magadha. But even 1,000 years after Buddha's parinirvana, there was very strong Dharma.
Right, came back.
Yeah, it's there.
Well, when did all the destruction come,
Oh, that's, I think, after the 12th century. 12th and 13th, this century, then, it's a big troubles.
When was Nalanda? There was a king that first was against Buddhism, but then he brought it back. He was the main supporter of
University. Oh, this is the king Ashoka. Ashoka, it's this is Ashoka is after 300 years, like 200, yeah. Yeah, this Ashoka, he is after the Buddha, like 250 years after the Buddha's parinirvana. He's the sponsor of the third or fourth council, and he contributed a lot. And he turned to the Buddhists because he, in the balance, he killed and he conquered the whole India. And then he turned to the Buddhists. He saw the, Buddhist disciples. And yeah, Ashoka.
But when did the Muslims?
I think this is, I don't know exactly time. It's after 12th century. 12th century, yeah. After 12th century. Think about it. The 11th century, still Nalinda and Bekamalashila is strong. Like a Naropa example, and Telopa and Atisha, those all came this period, the 11th century, and 11th century. They're still. It's pretty good. But then 12th century, then 13th, this time, lots troubles in India. And many pandits is leaving, and yeah. Then the translation, the Buddhism, Buddha Dharma, is all almost what exists in Nalanda University, Mahayana teachings, most translated into Tibetan. Later, they all burned in India, and also it's very hard to keep it, the text in India. India is the weather, it's very hard to keep it, those texts. But particularly in the Vedic teachings, Mahayana teachings, they later translated into Chinese. We do have lots editions, but Vedic teachings just not only in Tibet, complete. There is no any other language now. Vediyanas, they're outer Vediyanas, Kriya, Upa-yoga, inner Vediyanas, the Mahayoga, Anayoga, Ati-yoga, Mahamudra, this all is lost in India. There is no text, maybe few, little bit, small pieces, maybe few chapters and so forth, but not very complete. It's all translated into Tibetan. Tibetan translators, when they translated, and they match exactly the Sanskrit, because Sanskrit at that time, 9th century example, King Trisong Duchen invite 108 independent, the 108 Tibetan scholars, translators, they put it together, that they have group, and exactly created and made it for the Dharma language. And they all agree, measure, then they sealed by the king, saying that, oh, that's it, that's now we can publish. That's why if you look at Kanjur and Tenjur, it's all similar. It's one author. It's just writing. And even 1,000 years now, if you look at Donghuang collections, if you're familiar with Donghuang manuscript, Donghuang, and the cave there revealed, the old text, over 1,000 years old. A lot of scholars believe it's a 10th century text. Yeah, that's right, a little bit there. But now, this is the stories, right, Tibetan stories. But there are lots, like Hat Sutta, Diamond Sutta, and others. It's pretty much same. Right now, if I just read it very quickly, nothing changed. Over 1,000 years text, pretty much originated the text. Hat Sutta, Diamond Sutta, and the Golden Suttas, and Minjushira Namasangati, lots that's there. I think really well kept, not much adding. Yeah, it's a. Yeah, it's very fascinating, really. It's amazing. Hmm? Pali to Sanskrit, I don't think so. Not much. We saying that Buddha spoke 2 languages. When he just generally gave the public teachings, then it's a Pali. And when he gave the educated people, for example, high level of his disciples, then he gave in the Sanskrit, like Mahayana teachings. And even Hinayana, the glimpse of the Mahayana teachings is there. And like emptiness. They say that they have emptiness, they have bodhisattva, they do have bodhicitta, but not extend the past teachings. That's right. According to the history.
Yeah, because Mahayana seems to have appeared about 300 or 400 years after after the councils and after the rules of the Vinaya.
And some teachings, as when Buddha, this is Dharma history. Just based on the histories. Otherwise, we are not, few thousand years old. And this history is saying that when Buddha paranirvana, some main disciples, like Vimalakirti, after the 28 years after the Buddha's paranirvana, they gathering and then recited the Mahayana teachings, particularly some Vajrayana teachings. Yeah, this is first council is after the Buddha's paranirvana. Second, I think 100. Yeah, Vinaya rules. Then it's after the few hundred years. That's right. All completely right. Don't particular Vinayana part of this. Abhidharma and the Sutras that's writing a little bit earlier. Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right. Sanskrit. They were Sanskrit. Some maybe, I think, Nepalese. Yeah. After that, then lost all. That's right. Yeah. This Duchen collections before the Marpa. Yeah. Duchen the manuscript is before the 11th century. Yeah. This and the website, if you go to the International Duchen Project, it's there are lots, takes hundreds, thousands. It's free. You can go there and look at. Yeah, it's really amazing. Seems, I think, over. Time is over. We can do dedication.
By defeating all enemies' confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious bond, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that the Lama may have good health. I pray that the Lama may have long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri, the warrior, realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha, who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. By the virtues collected in the three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate word of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete. May the teachings of the great Trikhompa Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara. Manjari.